He said I'd let myself go after giving birth. And honestly, he wasn't wrong. I had let go. Let go of being stupid in love. Now, sorry babe, the one leveling up with me is a billionaire, while he's still doom-scrolling my Instagram like he's trying to recover his lost dignity. And let's be clear, I didn't magically go from diapers to dining at 5-star restaurants. That glow-up smells like serum, bitterness, and that unfamiliar perfume I found on the collar of the man who used to call me his wife. Trust me, this drama didn't need a script, just one husband who showers with his phone and one wife who knows how to time a comeback. I gave birth and instantly became the villain in my husband's eyes. One baby, and my face aged like I'd birthed triplets. I know it sounds dramatic, but real talk. Moms who manage to keep their main character energy after giving birth? Y'all deserve survival medals. As for me, I was the clueless side character, wrapping diapers with one hand and hiding my thinning hair with a towel in the other. Honestly, when I was pregnant with our first kid, I had this whole happy family movie playing in my head. Like, I'd be the sweet, glowing mom, and my husband would hold the baby with that soft smile while sunlight hit us just right, straight out of a diaper commercial. But after I gave birth, that movie turned into a full-blown psychological drama. Every time I looked in the mirror, I saw this woman with greasy hair and panda-eye dark circles, basically auditioning for a zombie role without needing makeup. My boobs? One was up, one was down, like a chaotic geography map. And don't even get me started on the belly fat. Instagram calls it cute postpartum chub. Yeah, no, my belly fat was applying for permanent residency. And you know what? After giving birth, it felt like my brain got a full factory reset. I forgot I was the woman who used to love red lipstick and heels. Now I was the woman whose daily checklist was, did the baby poop? Did I mix the right ounces of formula? Do we still have baby wipes? Meanwhile, my husband, Brad, was still going to work, still shaving, still Mr. Put Together to the outside world. But to me, he slowly turned into Mr. Nowhere to be found. At first, I didn't suspect a thing. I just thought, he's busy. He's tired. It's fine. I'm the mom. I can tough it out a little. But then I started noticing Brad didn't touch me the way he used to. He didn't wrap his arms around me from behind while I cooked anymore. Didn't sit next to me on the couch like he used to before the baby came. And whenever I tried to get close, he'd hit me with those painfully familiar lines. You must be tired. Go get some sleep. I don't want to bother you. Just rest. Sorry. But why did that sound more like, just keep resting so I don't have to deal with you? But back then, I still thought it was me. That I wasn't pretty enough yet, hadn't come back strong enough after giving birth. So I started my comeback journey by buying eye cream. Which, let's be real, did nothing, because if I managed to sleep 2 hours straight at night, it was a damn miracle. I kept trying to do everything, mopping the floor, doing laundry, cooking, breastfeeding, scheduling vaccine appointments, trimming the baby's nails. I even cleaned out the cat litter box. We don't have a cat. I cleaned it by mistake, because I was that sleep-deprived. And Brad? He'd come home, open his laptop, check emails, and nod at me like a CEO politely acknowledging the receptionist. But the real breaking point? One November afternoon. I'll never forget it. I was changing the baby's diaper when I heard Brad talking in his office. He forgot to shut the door. I wasn't trying to eavesdrop, okay? But when you hear something like this, sorry, who the hell wouldn't freeze? She's not the woman I married anymore. She's let herself go. Let herself go? I remember standing there, frozen like a statue. One hand holding the open diaper, the other one trembling just slightly. My baby was still crying, but I went completely silent. And in that moment, I didn't think about yelling or storming in to ask, "What did you just say?" No. All I thought was, wait, am I a damn apartment now? Let herself go? Really? I looked around the house. That day, I had made soup, and even cooked Brad's favorite braised dish. I remember setting the table extra neatly thinking he'll be happy. But no, he wasn't happy. He called me a broken version. That was the first time I truly felt like I disappeared. Not in some poetic, metaphorical way like I'm no longer seen by the one I love. No, I literally couldn't recognize myself in the mirror anymore. That night, I didn't cry. I just sat there. Like I was watching a pot boil. Except the thing bubbling was inside me. I thought about all the times I smiled through the pain, all the times I sang to soothe the baby with a voice so hoarse it cracked, all the times I saw Brad scrolling and laughing at something, while I forced a smile at a photo of myself from 3 years ago. And still, I didn't say a word to Brad. Because I knew. Men like him, once they've decided their wife is a downgrade, there's nothing you can say that they'll actually hear. So I stayed silent. But my silence was the start of a turn. And it wasn't for him. And don't worry, ladies, I wasn't out here planning some dramatic blood-soaked revenge. I went with the salted revenge route. You know, like when someone drops a pinch of salt into a glass of red wine. Subtle. But it hits deep. Tiny spoiler. Remember the name Julian West for me. He shows up later. But for now, let me go do my skincare before I keep going. This tea might be hot, but my face is getting too dry. I know some people bring bath salts into the shower, others bring essential oils, but my husband, he brought his phone. And no, not to listen to meditation tracks or healing podcasts. He brought it to text, while the water ran, with someone who wasn't me. But hold on, let me rewind a bit. After that afternoon when I overheard the "she's let herself go" comment, I didn't blow up. I didn't cry. Didn't throw things. Didn't demand a divorce like in the movies. I kept mopping the floor. Then I made a bottle for the baby. Then I took a shower, with invisible tears, like the main character in a film no one else was watching but me. From that day on, I started paying closer attention. Not in a full-on stay-at-home Sherlock Holmes kind of way, but more like a suspicious cat watching a vacuum cleaner from the corner. And I started noticing things. Brad's routines had reached a level of weird that I couldn't ignore. First red flag, bringing his phone into the shower. Like, I'm sorry, shower time is for showering. Who's texting mid-scrub? But apparently, Brad, whenever I asked, why are you taking your phone into the shower? He'd smile and go, oh, just timing myself. Timing a 45-minute back scrub, right? Sound familiar? Anyone else feeling called out right now? If you've ever seen your boyfriend, husband, partner take their phone into the bathroom and then disappear for ages while you just sat there waiting, raise your hand. Actually, comment below and check in for roll call. I'm counting every single one of you. Drop your bathroom number too, so I can come sit guard duty with you. Let's make it a whole vibe. Next red flag. Second, suddenly traveling for work way more than usual. Before, Brad's company only sent him on 1 or 2 business trips per quarter. But ever since I gave birth, his travel schedule got more regular than our baby's vaccination calendar. Once a week. Every week. Gone for several days. And somehow I never knew exactly where he was going, who he was meeting, or which hotel he was staying at. When I asked, he said, "Why are you asking about little things like that? I'm busy." Oh, excuse me, Mr. CEO, I forgot I'm just the babysitter with no right to know where her husband is sleeping tonight. Third red flag, a weird perfume smell. Brad was not the cologne type. He always said cologne was annoying, too much, too feminine. And yet, one fine day, he came home with a new scent lingering on his collar. Vanilla mixed with jasmine, sweet in that headache-inducing kind of way. I asked, "New cologne?" He said, "I don't know. Maybe I stood too close to someone in the elevator." Oh, sure. Elevator must have had a built-in perfume mist feature, huh? Auto spray when cheaters walk in. I started to feel like I was playing a video game where the other player had cheat codes. And I hadn't even finished loading the map. And then, enter the name, Chelsea. The new assistant, young, blonde highlights, lips always glossed like she'd just stepped out of a beauty ad. And most importantly, more into wearing short skirts than submitting reports on time. I met her once at a company party. She looked me up and down, smiled sweetly and said, "You're Brad's wife? You look younger than I expected." Thanks? Or should I just not take that as a compliment? A few weeks later, I happened to see Brad's printed business trip itinerary lying on his desk. He must have forgotten to pack it. I wasn't trying to snoop, but when you realize your name has vanished from every plan involving the man you've shared a bed with for 7 years, you look. And I saw it. Conference, San Diego, double room, Brad plus Chelsea. That little line, double room, was listed at a single room rate, meaning they only charged for one person. One person, one room, 2 people. Something was very wrong. I remember just standing there, not smiling, not angry. Just like my brain needed a full reboot. I didn't do anything. Didn't call Brad to interrogate him. Didn't flip the house upside down. I folded the paper, slid it into a drawer, and went to make a bottle for the baby. I didn't even shake. I just felt cold. Cold in the kind of way that makes you ask, should I forgive, or should I forgive myself first? I had let myself believe that if I worked hard enough, loved hard enough, served well enough, I'd get to stay. But I guess love doesn't work like a loyalty points program. Brad stayed the same, still called, still smiled politely, still hit me with the usual, work's been crazy, I'm so busy at the office. Yeah, I could tell. His work now involved business trips and switching off bedroom lights in other hotel rooms. And then came the day the bubble finally burst. Not because I poked it, but because Brad practically popped it himself. That night, he came home late. I was rocking the baby to sleep when he started venting about work, going on about pressure, stress, blah blah blah. I said nothing. My face was like a frozen loading screen. Loading, please wait. And then for some reason, he started talking more. And in a very classic Brad moment, he blurted out, I cheated because you're no longer the woman who makes me want to come home. There it was. That was the sentence. Not because you were distant. Not because you stopped loving me. It wasn't because I betrayed him. It wasn't because I treated him badly. It was simply because I no longer made him want to come home. I stayed quiet. Not because I had nothing to say, but because I was trying so hard not to laugh out loud. Because honestly, what else was there to do but let out a salty little laugh? I thought, oh, if you don't want to come home, then maybe I should rebuild this home, just without you in it. No screaming, no crying, no dramatic meltdown, just this quiet knowing that I wouldn't stay. Not as a wife being ranked on a scale of still worth coming home to, because if a man needs a reason to come home, then I have no reason to keep him here. After that line, you're no longer the woman who makes me want to come home. I nodded. Not because I agreed, but because I knew it was time to leave, time to walk away from a place I no longer wanted to call home. No drama, no dramatic divorce threats, no Oscar-worthy scene of a strong wife packing her suitcase through tears. I just quietly folded a few outfits, grabbed a couple books, my skincare box, and that self-respect I'd left scattered somewhere between all those sleepless nights rocking a crying baby. My new apartment? Tiny. With a view of the neighbor's wall. Every morning, pigeons wake me up with a congested gargle that sounds like they're trying to clear their sinuses. But at least, it's quiet. No weird perfume smells, no sneaky keyboard clicks at 1 a.m., no one looking at me like I'm last season's sweater they regret buying. And so began my post-humiliation glow-up journey. Not to make Brad regret anything, but just to make myself less pissed. Yeah, my comeback wasn't for revenge, it was so I could stop feeling salty. First day at the gym, I walked in with a body that felt like a blob of raw dough. Soft, sticky, and totally shapeless. The trainer looked at me and asked, so, what's your fitness goal? I said, to learn how not to quit. The first 3 weeks, all I could manage was walking on the treadmill, sweating like someone left the faucet running, heart pounding every time I saw someone in high-waisted leggings with a flat stomach. Me? My stomach folded, right onto my thighs. I treated skincare like brushing my teeth, non-negotiable, and every drop of serum I patted onto my face carried the bittersweet scent of honor tears. I bought the most expensive kind my wallet would allow and applied it like I was smearing my youth back on, with hope and caffeine. At night, I still thought about Brad. Not because I loved him, but because I kept asking myself, how was I ever that stupid? I'd replay those razor-sharp lines in my head. You've let yourself go. I need someone who makes me want to come home. Oh, so now I'm the reason people want to leave. Great. I decided to go to therapy, not to heal Brad, but to heal me from the toxic belief that a woman's beauty is what keeps a man. My therapist asked me, when was the last time you felt proud of yourself? I sat there in silence, like my brain was trying to load the answer on a laggy Wi-Fi connection. Finally, I said, probably the moment I realized I could walk away without crying. Then one day, I stumbled across an article about a community of postpartum women, a space where moms shared their experiences, supported one another, and, best part, offered free soft skills workshops. I randomly signed up for one called Writing Content for Small Businesses, and from that day on, I reconnected with marketing, the career I'd given up when I had my baby. I started freelancing, writing PR blurbs for local brands, social media posts for bakeries, candle shops, even a sex toy store. If it paid, I took the job. As long as I didn't have to call Brad husband, I was good. Every job I took was like a quiet little recovery for the self-worth that had once been trampled. I didn't need Brad to love me again. I just needed me to love me again. Then one day, I got invited to a networking event for women freelancers. I picked out a neat little blazer dress, dusted off a pair of boots I hadn't worn in 3 years, ran a flat iron through my hair, and wore a pinkish-orange lipstick, the same shade Brad once said looked too childish. I walked into that event hall, one hand holding a glass of sparkling water, because I didn't have the guts for wine, the other holding my phone. And as if fate decided it was time for my grand entrance, I tripped over a speaker cable and dropped my phone straight onto a man's shoe. I bent down to pick it up, stammering, "I'm so sorry, I didn't mean to." But before I could even look up, I heard a man's voice. "It's okay. Is your phone all right?" Then I looked up, and that was the first time I saw Julian West, with warm brown eyes, a kind smile, and a suit that didn't scream, "Try hard." But what I'll never forget is this. He didn't look at my double chin. He looked straight into my eyes, like I wasn't someone who got dumped for letting herself go, but someone who was in the middle of a comeback. I don't know if it was fate, good karma, or just a well-timed accident with a happy ending. But for the first time in what felt like forever, someone looked at me like a person, not a downgraded version of who I used to be. And ladies, I didn't know who Julian was, what he did, or where the hell he came from. But I did know one thing. I had just dropped my phone on the right guy. After the whole phone on his shoe incident, I went home thinking it was just one of those meta crush then woke up like it was a dream moments. Turns out, if a man can build a $700 million startup, finding my Facebook was basically child's play. Julian West, the man with the soft level therapy smile, actually messaged me first. And no, it wasn't some, "Hey, you up?" or "Do you have a boyfriend?" type of DM. His first message said, "I checked. Your phone case isn't covered by warranty, but I think I've already been compensated," with a smile. Excuse me? Why is that so adorable? I thought he was just charming over text. But no, he was also insanely good at investing, building financial ecosystems, and making money in ways I couldn't even begin to understand. I knew he was a CEO, sure. But it wasn't until our third date, when I finally deep-dived his name on Google, that I realized Julian was a legit billionaire. Like Forbes cover, TED Talk, changed my lock screen level billionaire. Our first date wasn't at some fancy Michelin-starred restaurant. It was at a cold-pressed juice bar. I ordered cucumber, felt appropriate for an inner detox kind of vibe. Julian asked if I wanted anything else. I said, "I just want something light, no drama, nothing that pressures me to be perfect all the time." Julian nodded, "Then I won't order anything else." I mean, why did that answer feel like it just lightly tapped on my soul? We talked about totally ordinary things. I told him about Brad like I was describing a really long seasonal allergy phase. Like, he told me I let myself go after giving birth, but forgot that he never once upgraded his decency settings. Julian smiled. The kind of smile that says, "I'm mad for you," but doesn't throw gasoline on the fire. That kind of man. The kind who knows when to listen instead of fixing everything. That's rare. Real rare. We started seeing each other regularly. No late night, "Where are you?" calls. No drama. I didn't have to fake being effortlessly cool. I could eat a whole burger and casually talk about the time I was depressed and cried to my aloe vera plant. Julian didn't laugh at me. In fact, he shared. I once got super stressed because my ex kept asking how much I made per month, while I was out here paying salaries for over 200 employees. Sir, you win. I started posting photos online again, not to show off, but because I actually felt beautiful. Some were just me working on my laptop. Some were quiet dinners with Julian, no tags, no thirst trap captions, just good lighting. Then one day, I got tagged in a post from a group called Women in Startups. From mom who got called ugly by her husband, to content collaborator for $1 million brand. That night, I was mid-skincare routine when I got a message from Brad. He wrote, "You've really changed. I miss you." Excuse me? Is this a return request from an expired system? I read the message, paused for 5 seconds, then just hit like. No scene, no reply, no block. I let Brad wander alone through the same memories he once chose to throw away. And Brad now? He's spiraling over every photo I post. Oh, I know. Mutual friends sent me screenshots. He reacted to the pic of me in a blazer, watched the story of me cooking, clicked into our old wedding album, then exited immediately. Cute, right? But I don't post for Brad to regret anything. I post so I remember. This girl once thought she was too ugly to ever be loved again, and now she's having dinner with someone on the Forbes Top 100. It's not about revenge, it's just about saving the moment. The moment I got back up when I thought I couldn't. I was once called let go just because after giving birth, my face looked tired, my body felt broken, and my hair fell out like autumn leaves. Now, I'm having brunch with a man whose net worth is higher than my weekly step count. Sounds unreal? But it's real. Julian, an actual billionaire. Not some Hollywood fantasy, but a real-life upgrade with kindness baked in. And no, I'm not a sugar baby. Julian doesn't love me for having a perfect body, which, let's be honest, is still a work in progress. He loves me because I know when to laugh at the right time and when to shut up just long enough to let the silence land. He once told me, "I like the way you tell stories. They're sharp but soft." Like, what kind of oddly specific taste is that? Julian's the kind of man who wears a suit without looking stiff, orders your drink before the server even asks, and knows when to zip it so his girlfriend can finish her damn sentence. I didn't have to try to impress him. I just got to be me. Peacefully, fully, and finally, me. I slowly started to understand. I didn't need someone who made me say, wow, at first glance. I needed someone who would still be there after 99 days of me feeling like I wasn't enough. My relationship with Julian isn't full of roses, grand gestures, or deep quote captions. Bookmark. It's just me, freelancing, him, running 8 companies, and the two of us meeting every Friday night to unplug over spicy noodles and Netflix. Then one evening at a charity gala, Julian was an honored guest because he funded an entire scholarship program I wouldn't even have qualified for, and I showed up as his +1. I wore a black velvet dress, hair in a soft bun, makeup just a little extra. Not to shock anyone, but just to show I understood the dress code. And then, Brad showed up, straight out of a movie. But this time, I wasn't the tear-streaked character getting a dramatic zoom in. I was the woman standing next to Julian, champagne in hand, soft smile on my lips, and a head finally free from self-doubt. Brad stood there, alone. His eyes scanned the room, then landed on me. His face shifted in 3 phases, from who's that, to wait, is that her, to how the hell did she turn into that? I looked back, gave him a nod with just the right amount of side effect. No harsh tone, no bitter glare, just a silent, oh hey, remember me? The one you said wasn't attractive enough to make you want to come home? Brad looked at me like he'd just found an important file after accidentally hitting Shift-Delete. And me? I felt nothing but peace. Actually, a little amused even. Because now I'd become the kind of woman Brad didn't even have the nerve to walk up to anymore. That night, I looked at myself in the mirror, still had a few light stretch marks on my stomach, still had faint smile lines around my eyes. And I smiled. Not the ha, I got my revenge kind of smile, but the quiet, gentle kind that says, yeah, I actually made it. I was once the wife labeled let herself go because I gave birth. Now, I'm the woman even I would fall in love with again, from scratch. Not because I'm dating a billionaire, but because I no longer let anyone assign my worth based on my waistline or my hair. Yes, Julian is a billionaire. But the thing I value most about him? It's that he never made me compete to be loved. No pressure to bounce back, no daily check-ins, no games to make anyone jealous. Just me, breathing, being real, and showing up with grace when I feel like it. So if you're in that chapter where you're asking yourself, am I still worth anything after being left behind? The answer is yes. So much. You're just in the wrong hands. The hands of someone who never knew how to hold you in the first place. And remember, yeah, I was ugly, but only in the eyes of someone who didn't deserve me. And in my eyes now, excuse me, when did I get this adorable? I used to think, if I'm not pretty enough, not hot enough, I'll be left behind. Later I realized, people don't cheat because you're missing something. They cheat because they're missing the capacity to value what they have. So if you're asking yourself, am I just not attractive anymore? The answer is, it's not you. it's their blurry vision. Have you ever been hurt simply because you weren't the sparkliest version of yourself anymore? Drop your story in the comments. You might be more Team Soul Sister with someone here than you think. And don't forget to follow Heart Talk for weekly episodes of Comebacks Hotter Than His New Girlfriend. Love stories will always have drama. But how we tell them? Now that should be sharp and salty.